factor. We are trained to think that the youth is the most powerful element of your life, and we think anything past 40 is going on in is like your shit is petering out when that is the wrong aspect. The Kabbalistic system tells you that everything starts based on the 50 gates of understanding. So we know now that the Jubilee is, which is your 50s, is the most powerful. But I'm trying to tell you, when you talking about gates, and see, look at this, if you got your 60, you got 60. If you look at the Kabbalistic system, most of your higher numbers are the most powerful numbers. You see what I'm saying? Okay, you do have, you have the smaller numbers like 7 and 8 and 11. But look, 7, 8, and 11-year-old can't do shit. But the point I'm trying to say here is, the reason why the society has to tell you that you are in your twilight years or you are in a lesser degree of things, because the simple fact there's more power that you can't take on as you become older, and they don't want you to know that. So most motherfuckers up in here thinking that they're old and thinking that thinking that there's a certain thing, and you don't understand. You gathering power as you go on. And that's one thing that's key, and especially in the Kabbalah, they talk about the 50 gates of understanding. That's the Jubilee period. That's the period where it's real powerful. And not only that too, very powerful sexually also, but I'm going to explain something to you, and there's a thing that they don't want you to know. There's a thing that they don't want you to know, because a lot of sisters, they don't want to deal with this for the simple fact that they don't have mates. So as a result, when the whole sexual thing come down with it, they shut down. But what they don't realize is there's a reason now, we're talking about advanced knowledge here now. So you got to understand, you didn't come here to hear what you want to hear. Or what you think you want to hear. You came here to hear certain things. Now let me explain something to you. If you got a man, that's one thing. But if you don't have a man, this is some, and if you do have a man, you still need to do this. There's some sacred arts that they are omitting from texts, ancient texts, because they don't want, because most of this has to deal with the female, and they don't want to have that female to get this particular power. And that is the sacred art of masturbation. Now I'm going to get into this when I'm trying to show you what this is in a few seconds. And this is something, because number one, this is something you can do outside of the male. So now you're getting the science on why some of this is omitted from the books. Because the simple fact it puts the power back into the female's hand. You see what I'm saying? With us, it's a different story, because masturbation leads to ejaculation, and ejaculation is a loss of power. You see what I'm saying? But masturbation is orgasm just the same as it's orgasm in the sexual act with the male when it comes to the doggone female. You see what I'm saying? Now the reason why I'm saying that is to give you some science of what I'm talking about is this. Now, Cyprian Manel came up and was telling you that you got to get your minds right if you want to perceive some things. If you want to will some things, you got to call it. Okay? But the key here is there's a powerful ancient art to doing that. We got a couple of sisters. There's some sisters up in North Carolina doing this shit right now. And basically, and you can do it with a partner if you got one, but if you don't have a partner, there's some sisters that masturbate, and upon orgasm, they think of what they want. One sister that moved out of the projects into a whole brand new crib. Into a whole crib. Real powerful. They're omitted from the books, but what it is there's a book. See, when you see a lot of things omitted, then there's a book called Sexual Secrets, where they got a whole bunch of this type of stuff in Asian texts about that masturbation thing. That's when you know that there's a scientific aspect and stuff. And I'm trying to tell you that the reason why they omitted this particular stuff, because it has something, because it gives the woman power back into her hands. Number one, the key here is, he told you in the book Kabbalion, the 3 initiates.
Spell it.
What's that?
Kabbalion.
What is it? K-Y-B.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah. A-L-I-O-N. Kabbalion with the 3 initiates. One of the laws, one of those, what, 7 laws, or What is the value?
7.
One of those laws is what? Vibration. All right then. Vibration is one of the keys to the whole concept of orgasm. You are actually, when you're dealing with this, you're dealing with this on a level to get what you want based on a vibration. And now is the cycle to do these things. Now what I'm saying here is you can get, like I said, you can get a tickle me elmo, you can get a vibrating Snoopy dog, maybe that little damn animal. Okay, you can put that between your legs and I guarantee you. You can vibrate. That's how powerful the sister is. I know this sounds crazy, but that's how powerful the sister is. She can damn do that shit, like I say, on all kinds of levels and stuff. You don't even need a man, you can get a stuffed animal. But the point I'm trying to make here is, this is some science. And this don't have nothing, but see, what I'm trying to say, if you do have a man, you still need to practice this, even without the man, for the simple fact, you still on, he has to perform a certain level if you're going to base this thing on him. You see what I'm saying? This is something that just is an exercise you can do even if you do have a man. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you what time it is now. Trying to tell you what time it is. Also, get you a vibrator. Get you some toys. No, it's serious business, because what we're doing here is, because sometimes the manual aspect, you might get a little tired. But you might get, we're talking vibration. But we're talking things on a tantric level. He came and gave you the particular vibratory aspect and told all that type of thing here. But listen, there's only one thing that resembles the pineal gland in the head. It looks the same. And that's the clitoris. And this is the science based on this particular information. You see, there's several books out and several things on the tantric level, and I just wanted to put that forth and stuff, because there's sisters, and I'm telling you, there's a sister that did and I'm going to send it to you when we get the tape from a sister did the tape in Charlotte, and she opened up for me and lectured before I went on in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the sister is dropping on this thing here, and this is the sister that she got her a new house, all because of this thing right here. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's a willing mind, there's a way to do things where you put fuel to it through vibration. You see, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm gonna give you a lot of things tonight and stuff that you don't even think about. Like, let me give you an example. The Moors in Spain. When the Moors went to Spain, some of the alchemical arts that they brought up was the alchemical art of distillation of alcohol. So all your vodkas, the distillation of alcohol. So your vodkas, your gins, your rums, your scotch, all that stuff was brought up and was given to the European by the Moors. That was Kemetic art form. That was Kemite art, as far as what is called the royal art. Now, as a result, what has happened is I have come up with an elixir. It was by default or by pure agony. What happened is I had a spiritual attack on me, because there's powers that be, because even in the spirit realm, there's a war of principalities that's going on.
Yes, it is.
There's a war that's going on, whereas you got a group of entities that was of the last cycle, and they want to continue ruling, but they're old and they got to get up off the universe. The universe, that's what the whole text of Mahabharata is about. They even got the movie Mahabharata that you can get, the Mahabharata. But there's the text of the Mahabharata is that there's a group of entities that's got to get up off the universe. And as a result, the other entities that were dormant for millions of years now have to rule. We just so happen to be the next rulers. It's all in the it's all in the Sanskrit text. You see what I'm saying? All in the Sanskrit text. The woman Wendy O'Flaherty did translated half this stuff for the last 30 years. She did a whole bunch of volumes on this particular stuff, and stuff that's coming from India. So as a result, there's a class that's on their way out. And I'll be honest with you. This group, in actuality, the white boy was their decoy. So in so many words, we base everything based on what the white boy is doing. When there was a group of guys that had them down there to do their bidding, and so therefore, on the other hand, we never looked to them. You see. So they were more of the pawns in the game, or they were the decoy models. Not necessarily to say that you're supposed to actually trust the decoy, but what's happening here is we're burning up a lot of energy on that when there's a bigger problem. Because there's wars going on in the universe. Right there in the Bible, they talk about it, and different things like that talk about it. And it's in all ancient texts, so there's wars of palaces battling against each other. So what's happening here is there's a group of entities that don't want to get up off the planet and don't want to get up off the universe, but yet we are slated to rule. That's just the way things are. So, as a result, I got caught up in the middle of this war about a week after I left Detroit. The week after I left Detroit, 2001, when I spoke at a Tiwa's place about a week after that. I got a psychic attack where these certain entities came in and destroyed my whole side of the mouth. They literally they actually sliced open each nerve up under the tooth by 5 teeth. So I started feeling this thing and all. Man, this is something. And it started coming on. And one of the sisters called this particular sister. The sister was like, you got a psychic attack going on, and it's going to get, and she said, you know, it's going to get worse. And I said, I know. And one brother called, he said, man, about 11 o'clock when that chi energy hits, you're going to be in some pain. And when it hit at 11 o'clock, I was like, man, I said, I know with these 5 teeth, this thing is going to kill me. And the sister was looking, she said, man, whatever they did, they completely destroyed all the nerves in your bottom teeth. And so I said, well, look, you're going to have to do something. And I said there was 3 entities that came. Because what we started getting was, we started making contact with certain entities that in the past, the ancient times, these people would look into the future and they would get the name of these particular gods. But in the cycle now, these particular entities now are coming back, the forces are coming back to this particular planet that was locked outside on a certain dimension of a certain eon. They're coming back and they're giving up their new names. So what happened was, it was interesting because in March of 2001, these entities came in and they started giving these names. One was named Otincha, one was named Tiacha, one was named Sheriola, one was named Omagumu, and one was named Shuma. Then one came, Kakumbo came, and one named Lokeo came, and then another one, Alcala came. And so these entities, so when I was sitting up and I was like, man, this thing here it's getting to the point. I know by 12 o'clock this thing is going to kill me. And she said, man, not only that, there's an infection setting in. She said, that thing get to your brain. You're going to be through. And I'm like, yeah, because this sister could actually see it. And I was like, yo, and I said, no, I want you to call on these 3 sisters. And I said, call on Otincha, Tiacha, and Sheola. And they came. I said, now what y'all going to do? And they was like, we want you to drink some, at this particular time, they said, we want you to drink some scotch. You got some scotch and some gin up in there. They said, mix both of them together and drink it. I'm like, come on now. I'm in pain, like, you know. Even me with all that spiritual stuff, you nigga get in trouble now. You know what I'm saying? He want to get something a little more concrete. This sister said, just mix it up. And I mixed up the gin and the scotch at the time. I mixed it up. And basically what they did is they entered into my mouth through the alcohol. And then they started repairing my mouth. So I said, and so about an hour later, I said, man, I'm feeling pretty damn good. I said, shoot. I said, man, this thing is working. And I went to sleep and I woke up and I didn't have no more pain. And they were, and I knew I was hit with something that was very poisonous because the third day I started sweating. And they were sweating all these toxins out of my body. And this is what the deal was. Then all of a sudden, and then so what happened was I started mixing this shit regular. So this is things on the spirit realm. We're not talking, see, we're talking now. I've been in this thing to a point now to we're talking about actual spiritual. We're not talking about theory.